Hello and welcome to First Fields of Fire, Mission 1, Normandy Campaign. I am Ken Knott, a rookie at First Fields of Fire, but we'll see how this goes. I've played it a few times, this first mission, and I've watched a lot of people do playthroughs, and I always think this game is more fun to share with other people, and there's no better way to share than by doing a let's play of sorts. So I'm not going to teach anyone how to play Fields of Fire. I'm assuming you've kind of already got that part down. This is more just a playthrough to let's share this, and maybe we can learn from each other, and maybe it'll be fun and interesting to watch, and if nothing else, maybe it will inspire me to play more often. So to start with, I'm playing with the Vassal app. This is version 1.04, and I've got a setup ready to go here. I may change where I have my platoons and how I have them dispersed after I flip these terrain cards, but I wanted to get everything set up to save a little bit of time when we start. So first things first, let's go ahead and flip these terrain cards together and see what we're looking at. So I'm just going to try to remember how to flip this card. Oh, there it is. Just going to Control F these to get, so we're going to start with some scary open fields right in the front. Oh, that's not the front actually, this is the front. Some hedgerows and bocage, not too bad. Some orchard and groves. I've got a big tall church, big tall stone church. That's excellent. Good thing to have that up front. And some more orchards. Now, so far we don't have any hills. Nope, I'm wrong. We do have a hill over here with the hedgerow and bocage on the left. So again, starting on the second line, we've got some open fields. And what are that? That is some woods. Okay, nothing terrible so far. Some more hedgerows. Pretty open on the sides. Some more hedgerows. More hedgerows. Well, this is Normandy, right? A cemetery. I don't think I've ever seen a cemetery before. Some more orchards. And a village. Okay. So all in all, this is really pretty decent terrain to work with. Be interesting to see what gets spawned on these. It always seems to me that they spawn either minefields or artillery all over the place on the front row with these potential contact Cs. So I am supposed to set my attack position and primary and secondary objectives. So we'll go ahead and do that now. I'm going to show you my command display, which I've also set up ahead of time here. Using field phones. Usually I use radio, but in this case I don't want to deal with the limitations of the radios, especially the fact that they can't be used undercover. And I just want to get a little practice with phone lines. We'll see if I can actually remember to lay those, but I'm sure I'll give myself some leeway if not. But so let's go ahead and look at the third row here and see what I want to make as my objectives. Well, certainly it makes sense for this village to be an objective, so we're going to make this village my primary objective. And why not make this cemetery the secondary objective? Now, I think that the attack position has to basically be able to be adjacent to both of those cards, so by default this hedgerow here will be the attack position. I'm going to go ahead and move all these potential contact markers around so that we can see them a little bit better. And and I'll explain to you what's going on this command display. So I have loosely identified all of my clusters, red star and green star clusters, as being ceasefire commands. The green star and red star parachutes I'm going to call shift fire commands. The smoke and white phosphorus are just simply smoke and white phosphorus. And the grenades, the colored grenades, the sergeant's yellow grenades will also be a ceasefire, but the platoon's red, green, or purple, red, and green smoke grenades will be fallback commands. And really in history all I ever do is use those for ceasefire commands, but I'm going to just try to give myself a few more options. Now, I think it's important to use the smoke and white phosphorus as cover. I have managed to do that a few times. We'll see how that works out. So now, looking at our terrain, we're going to kind of try to decide how best to approach our objectives. Now, obviously, this church is key. We got some nice heavy cover, but it's not. Let's see, there is an OP. I got to look up and see what that is. Alright, after digging around a bit, it would seem that the OP on this church doesn't mean anything. I'm guessing that might have one time meant observation post. I think maybe that means that you have the potential for a church tower there. Anyway, that's still going to be an important card. And also on this front row, this hedgerow bocage on the left is going to be pretty key, as it is on a hill. Nope, it's not on a hill. Do I have any hills? I have no hills. So, the only thing that's going to give us any elevation advantage is potentially this church. So that makes it nice and simple. This hedgerow bocage can see through these fields to the hedgerow bocage behind it, so it probably will still be important. But anyway, I'm thinking a little too far in advance, and really I play this game by the seat of my pants, so we'll just see what happens. But as far as how I've laid out my my squads here, or my platoons, first platoon, second and third platoon each have a rifle grenade that is being given to second squad. Each also has a bazooka team, and I've given a light machine gun to first and second platoon. The heavy machine gun 50 cal is going to be held on by the command post squad card that's got the company commander, XO, and headquarter unit, as well as the mortar section. So, as needed, I'll have those brought to bear by probably the first sergeant or the XO. But given what I'm looking at, I don't see any reason to change kind of just how I've generically set everything up. So I think there's really nothing else to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and start turn one here and see how this all goes. So at this point we have no contact, and we don't have to draw a headquarters event this very first turn. So we will skip to drawing our action card to determine how many commands our company commander gets. So we pull that out, and I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down here so that I can possibly put the command deck up here as well. Let's see if I can make this happen. The command display. Sure, we can make that happen. So our first card was a fine draw. That's 5 commands for our company commander. And let's see, so there's +1 because he is there's no contact, and a -1 because he's green, so we get 5 commands. So That's pretty nice. We're going to go ahead and activate first, second, and third squad with those. So that's going to drop us now 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to bank the rest of those. Okay. And now we'll do some draws to see how many commands first, second, and third get. So starting with first, I got another nice draw. First is going to get 4 commands. And second is also going to get 4 commands. Can't ask for any better than that. And third, wow, it's a stacked deck. Everybody gets third commands. Or, sorry, 4 commands. So, I'm going to kind of go a generic route here and do some scouting with all 3 squads. I think I'm going to send forth, split off an assault team and send forth a scout into the front row with all 3 of these. And I'm going to do that with first squad in each case. So we will flip these over here and let's see how I do this. Place lead action team. We're going to place an assault team. And they will move forward in each case. Whoops, not the whole squad, just the assault team. And they will be exposed. And that's all I'm going to do in each case. So this is going to leave first platoon with 2 leftover commands. I'm going to repeat this with second platoon. Make this guy exposed and flip this guy over, and we'll do that again here. I need to learn some keyboard shortcuts so that you guys don't have to see all this clicking. Maybe next time. So we've got 3 squads move forward. Each platoon has 2 leftover commands. And then the next phase is the, I don't remember what they call it, but the executive officer and the first sergeant, since they were not activated, each just get 1 command, and they are not going to do anything with those. So we're going to go ahead and flip these to the completed activation step. And that takes us to the all-important general initiative phase, and I'm sure this is where we're finally going to get a bad draw. Nope, not too bad. 3, I'll take it. So with those 3 general initiatives, you guessed it, I'm going to try to get some cover for all 3 of these guys. So we're going to work from left to right and try to find some cover. So in the first case, we are in hedgerow bocage, and we get 4 draws looking for some cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, no cover. This is typical. There never seems to be enough cover out here. So this guy's going to be exposed and hoping there's nothing under that potential contact marker. So for second platoon, here we go. He gets 3 draws. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we found some cover. Now with this little symbol in the bottom corner, we get an opportunity to find some better cover. So I need to find the play aid for that. So we've got urban cover probability, World War II. So it's a 5, random selection 5 draw. And it's number 1, so we get a strong building. Fantastic. Let's go in here in pieces to cover. And we're going to get a strong building. And I believe we're also going to get a church tower, I think is how that works. Okay. There's a +2 and a +3 church tower. I don't know which is which, but I'll worry about that later. And now let's do third platoon. He gets 3 draws. 1, 2, and 3. No cover for him. But in any case, this squad, or this assault team that moved into the church, is going to get to be under the bottom floor of the church. So I think that's quite a lot of cover that he gets. I'm going to have to look that up and make sure I'm doing that right. Okay, I believe +2 or +3 is indicative of whether it's a strong or light building, and the play 8 above here indicates that we are in a strong building, so I'll assume those are +3. As for the difference between a church tower and a multi-story building, I have to assume it has something to do with stacking, but I haven't been able to find that, so when it comes up I'll look further. But in any case, it's pretty good. I mean, we found some nice cover on this church. That guy managed to get inside of it, and he's probably going to be okay, but these other dudes, these assault teams and the hedgerows and the orchard groves are possibly not going to be doing as well. But let's find out. So the next phase we're going to go ahead and skip, which is the enemy HQ events, and we don't have any kind of mutual capture retreat phase thing going on, so we are all the way up here to the mutual combat phase, and we are going to evaluate our potential contact markers. So again, we are presently in no contact, and with potential contact C, no contact, where each of these is going to have a draw of 4. And we're going to designate this 1, 2, and 3 and do a random selection to see which guy gets to go first. The first guy over here gets to go first, and we're going to draw 4 cards and see if we have contact. So 1, contact, 2, 3, 4, so we definitely do have contact. And now let's find out what kind of contact we're lucky enough to have. Just 1 second here. Here we go. I am on my other monitor, which you probably can't see, which is where I'm going to find out. So here we go. Draw of 1 to 10. 10, I'm sure this is something I'm not going to like. Potential contact C. A 10 is a heavy machine gun nest. So, that's not probably going to be pleasant. Heavy machine gun nest is going to be composed of a squad and then a heavy machine gun team in foxhole. So the squad's going to be in trench on 1 card, and the heavy machine gun team will be on another card. Alright, so that's let's find out where they go. So first we'll do the squad. In fact, we need to set that up here. So our choices for squads are these guys: 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's what happens here. I don't remember. Let me pause again. Okay, yep, first things first, we have mixed the 2 different types of German squads up here, and we're going to do a random draw to see which kind we get. So the type that's on top here is not necessarily the one that you will draw, so we just pull out of that, and so we got an automatic squad here, an automatic weapon squad. And let's find out where they go. It's a draw of 1 to 10. We get a 9, and that 9 tells us that they are going to be on right front at max line of sight, which will be this woods cards. That makes sense. They're going to be in a trench, so we'll pull out a trench. Okay. And they are machine gun nest. They are spotted. Okay, so that's good at least. And now the heavy machine gun itself. Get that guy out. Alright. Oops. Pull this guy over here and find out where he goes. Again, it is a draw of 1 to 10. You get a 3. And a 3 tells us that it is at front max line of sight. So he's going to be through the open fields. Reduce the size of our screen here, and he will be on the hedgerow bocage in foxholes, also spotted. Okay, so let's put some VOFs down here. And I'll put a, not a VOF, I'm talking about a PDF for the beginning here. I'll put that over here. Okay, we get a PDF over here. Right. Now this guy can see them, but he only has point blank fire, so I think he can only shoot on his card, so there'll be no return fire for the time being. And he is going to be under an automatic VOF because of the heavy machine gun. So put that here next to him. So with the exposed and the VOF here, it's probably not going to be a super good day for this guy. So we go on. We've got 2 more cards to evaluate. The church and the orchard. So there we go. Draw 1 of 2, and we get again a 1. So it's the church who gets to go first. And now we are no longer. Oh, that's the wrong card. What am I looking for here? I'm trying to say the current activity is now contact. Okay. So, with contact, we're going to draw probably 3 cards. Yep, 3 cards. So there we go. 1, 2. Contact again. I'm very, very good at drawing contacts. So there we go. A draw of 1 to 10 to find out what we get. We get an 8. And an 8 will be mines and a machine gun. Okay, mines is always fun. That's an automatic hit. Fortunately, we're in the church. Who mines a church? That's terrible. I mean, seriously, who mines a church? Okay, well, at least the machine gun is spotted. And the heavy machine gun team will be under foxhole. So let's find out where that heavy machine gun team is. Draw of 1 to 10, we get a 1. A 1 will be per package table placement. Package table placement simply says at max line of sight, so we're going to have to draw again to find out where it goes. So again, this time we get a 10, right front at max line of sight, so that's going to be on this hedgerow bocage. We're going to get yet another heavy machine gun. Everybody loves a heavy machine gun. And that, again, is under foxholes. We'll put down our PDF. And an automatic weapons VOF. And mines. Now the mines go off automatically this first time. So that is tragic and just cursed that we found this wonderful cover on this card and it's mined. So we're really not going to be able to use it. We certainly can't have everyone walking into a minefield. That is what I call tragic. But you know, it makes perfect sense. You know, got this German team up here defending this region of France, and certainly it makes sense that they would mine the most attractive defensive terrain. So we go on to our last guy over here in the Orchard Grove. He gets to draw for contact, and at this point in time, I think we are going to go ahead and consider ourselves engaged. In fact, now that I think about it, we were probably engaged before because we had two cards with yep, 2+ cards occupied with. Oh, there's only one under VOF. So we were just contact. So, but we are now engaged, and so we're now engaged. We've got a draw of 2. So let's go ahead and up our current activity. 2 engaged, and let's get this out of the way here. And we just draw 2 cards. Let's see how fortunate we get. Alright, so we did clear 1 card without incident. Let's go ahead and evaluate these now. We don't get to return fire on anybody because we are just little assault teams with only point-blank fire. But we are definitely taking fire. So let's go ahead and start on the left. It's the easiest one to resolve. We have -2 for expose and -1 for automatic weapons VOF, and then +2 cover. So that leaves us with a net -1. And we get a hit. And we are line. Let's find out. Line effect is paralyzed. So that team is now a paralyzed team, and they are pinned. Exposed for the time being, but that will come off. A small bit of good news is that this machine gun up here has now used some ammo. Whoops. I just increased its ammo. I actually want to decrease the ammo to 7. There we go. In the church, we have mines and an automatic weapons VOF, and I don't think they're cumulative, but I better check. Okay, some good news. Mines do not automatically go off the first time that they're found, but this guy will have to do a mine check. So that's a 3-card draw, and we look for a burst icon. No burst icon, so I'm pretty sure that means that they did not go off. But still, that means anybody else moving onto this card, or even this assault team moving upstairs, is going to have to repeat that mine check. And as far as I know, there's no way to remove mines or move onto a mine card without setting them off. There's just always a hazard present on that card now. At least we know about them. So they're going to take instead this automatic weapons VOF, but they have plenty of cover on this card. It looks like they're going to have +6 with a -1. That's going to be a net +5, so we get a miss. So that's good news, and that is the end of the combat action phase. We're going to go ahead and click cleanup. That will remove all the exposed markers from everybody. And before I forget, this heavy machine gun team is also reduced its ammunition, and I think that's everything from turn 1. So we're going to go ahead and set this to game turn 2. I was thinking that I was going to go ahead and do several turns this first time, but I want to listen to it and see how terrible I sound, and I also want to it took a little bit longer to do this than I expected. Look up a few things, as we always do in Fields of Fire. So with that, I'm going to call this a day. We are right here at 30 minutes, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope someone actually listens to it, and I hope this first take actually becomes my first video. We'll find out shortly. Thank you very much.